Hi, True Crime Grapevine fans. It's me, Patty Lee, and it's time for today's True Crime Headlines because there's too much crime and not enough time for most people to watch it all day. So if you got half an hour, sit back. I'll try to be under that. And I'll tell you what went on in the last 24 hours and what is allegedly being said on the True Crime Grapevine. So tonight, we have two court updates in the Koberger and Murdoch case. And then we have a new crime that not everybody is talking about. Hey, Kate. Yes, nice to see you. So I don't know if you've heard about this, but it's a DV case, and it has some ties to a Great Lakes state, which is the Cleveland area. So there was this basketball player. He is only, and you'll see why I say he's done a lot for being only 23, and not just in basketball. So do you know Kevin Porter Jr.? He plays for the Houston. He doesn't just play. He has a what is it, like $64 million contract. This is over like 5 years, I believe, or 3 years. It's to 2025. Yeah, like $63.4 million contract to play basketball with the Houston Rockets. Now, he played a little bit with the Cleveland Cavaliers, but you're going to hear about why he didn't stay there. So what happened with Kevin? Well, it was really over Sunday night. You know how that, yes, Kate, the light of my life. You know how we go from, do you know how time works? That sounds kind of dumb, doesn't it? Okay. So Sunday, very late Sunday night. So it was really technically Monday. Mr. Kevin Porter had been out in NYC, and he, with his girlfriend, and I am not going to say her name. It is spelled Kysre, and then it's hold eyes, Gondrezik. So maybe it's Kysre Ganzerik. I'm just going to call her K. Thanks, Kate. Like K. Kate's a great name to start names. So I'm going to call her K. KG. So KG is 26. She, in her own right, was a fabulous basketball player. She's retired from the WNBA. They were in New York for Fashion Week. They went out, and apparently KG went to bed first in the Millennium Hilton Hotel. Love Hilton properties. I mean, I'm usually more of a Hampton Court DoubleTree girl. But hey, fancy hotels in New York City, I would be down for. Of course, all that comes with the price if you're dating Kevin, because apparently the story, and I heard this on the grapevine from Melanie Little. So go check out. She did a live last night, Wednesday. If you don't want to listen to the whole live, that's why I'm just here telling you the main squeeze on the grapevine here. But boy, supposedly she was asleep when this occurred. Now, I heard you couldn't get into the room. Again, allegedly, I don't know if that's true, but it was reported in the police report that she was asleep when the attack started. And yes, this is going to be about DV attack story. So she was asleep, and apparently we don't know why. Again, maybe he got locked out of the room. He started beating her with a closed fist all around her head and upper body, to the point that she had a big inches long gash, and somewhere like that deep gash, as well as they found out later, because she ran out in the hall all bloody. So he did this repeatedly and did not stop until she left the hotel room. She got into the hall. Hotel employees found her. Really sad. They called the cops. She said she couldn't breathe. She was having difficulty breathing. She was obviously battered. Probably needed stitches at the very least. So they get her to the local hospital, one of them in NYC. Was it Lenox Hill? Anyway, they get her there, and do you want to know what they found out? Oh, a broken vertebra. Broke her neck. Now, I don't know if it touched her spinal cord, because that might have been why she had trouble breathing, because if you break your cervical vertebra right in the upper part of your neck. If it touches at all your spinal cord, it can it affect your nerves, your diaphragm. You can't breathe because your diaphragm is no longer working because you're getting paralyzed. He beat her hard enough. Not did he just open up skin, broke her neck bones. So, yeah, what do you think happens to somebody who does that? Well, the next day they're arraigned. He did not enter a plea, which, if we were the trial watchers know, it happened in the Koberger case. If the defendant doesn't enter a plea, the judge will just enter a not guilty for them. And that's standard. But he only got, the prosecutor wanted $100,000 cash bond. The judge only gave him but you have to think, this is a man who just got a contract for mostly $64 million. Yeah, so $75,000. So for you and I, I'd be like, okay, $5. He bonds out. Now he plays in Houston, so he was not kept. Like, so the things that we talk about, like in the Frankie Ruby case, what keeps a person with no bond? The transgression is horribly violent. Okay, in this case, check. There's like a history. And in this case, yes, guess what he has a history of doing? He's 23. He has not just a history. He was so angry at this girlfriend, I guess, he hit her car with his car. So just got angry and rammed his car into her car. He also had a history of, while he was in Cleveland, I guess they moved his locker to where the younger players' wall was. I guess not with LeBron. I don't know if LeBron was still playing when he was there, but I mean, not with the big stars, even though obviously he must play ball pretty well because everybody doesn't get a huge contract like that. But threw a fit, screaming at everybody, and threw food around. He also, when he went to Houston, and Stillwell in Cleveland, got a charge of I forget what it was, what they exactly said, but he was misusing a firearm in a vehicle. So he basically had a gun out. Now that charge was dropped, but it seems like right when he moved to Houston. So in 2022, he goes to Houston. Then he gets in trouble fighting with an assistant coach. That they said, I don't think the assistant coach is no longer working there. So somehow, I don't know, this guy must have balls of gold. Something is great about him. I get it, balls of gold. Dun-dun-dun. Horrible. That guy's gone. He gets to stay. I'm trying to think of how many other violent acts. So this guy has a hair trigger. He is 23, should be on top of the world. He's got a dream job. And yet, when things don't go his way, he seems, allegedly, my speculation, to lose his ever-loving mind. And I don't think this is going to stop. Here's the thing. The commissioner of the NBA, I think it's Adam Silver. Hi, Adam. Hi. You don't know me. I'm Patty Lee from the True Crime Grapevine. And you probably don't give a crap about what I think. But I'll just let you know. You're a horrible human being because he got on TV and said, oh, it makes me so angry because whether you have any children or just are a child of God or Mother Nature or whatever you want to believe, it is unbelievably insensitive to say, well, if this was in season, we'd probably, as the NBA commissioner, have to act rather swiftly. But because it's preseason, we have more time to make a decision. Wow, weird, Kevin, Adam, because DV is always in season. Isn't that lovely? There's no preseason for DV. It's always open season, apparently on women, especially for very rich athletes. Come for me in the comments. What do you guys think? Hey, like and subscribe. Let's just forget about that I went on a rant, but come on. This guy, mark my words, I will save this video and mark it, even if I get rid of my whole channel. This one I will save because within the next 5 years, he will be on trial for murdering, or one of his girlfriend, wife will go missing like Suzanne Morphew. Yeah, that's right. Hi, Bear Bear. Haven't forgotten about you. You know, and you're alleged. Uh, that's just a whole nother thing. Okay, I'm fired up. I don't know why. Let's have a drink. Settle down. Okay, cleanse the palate. So yeah, Kevin. Yeah, no restrictions on travel. I mean, oh, that was the other big thing that we learned in the Frankie Ruby case. They were saying, well, she's a multimillionaire. She's a flight risk. Oh, apparently this guy's not a flight risk. I mean, no, he's only got millions of dollars. But whatever. I guess they figure they'll keep him locked up and caged up except for games. I don't know. We'll ask the commissioner what he thinks. What a horrible person. Allegedly, my speculation. Don't sue me. All right. October 16th, he is to be back in New York to be for his first hearing. And here's the thing that's really weird is they don't say, is she still hospitalized? We don't hear about KG at all. Everybody's like, oh my God, isn't I mean, and yes, we've heard this story about entitled athletes, and I don't know what his background is. Oh, I can tell you what her family's background is, though. Her sister wrote a tweet and basically said, I mean, don't come into her neighborhood, that they will beat him down and that his mama didn't beat him enough. I mean, it is like, basically, we're going to kill you for doing this. So, I mean, I don't think violence is the answer to solving more violence. On the other hand, but I understand, and I guess a sister. I don't know. People on Twitter, X, they're chatting back about she's got charges for hitting people. I don't know. Here's the thing: don't go beating on people. And while they're sleeping, I don't even know what his excuse could be. It is insane. And this man is 23. That's why I said, mark my words. He will be up on a murder charge because he cannot handle himself. Allegedly, my speculation. And maybe he'll get his act together. Did you hear that, eye roll? All right. So we will hear more about that case. And it's really weird. All the YouTubers today, most of them are still talking about Cavalcante because he was caught yesterday. And yes, it's exciting. But here's the deal. We all pay mouth service. Dyslexia. We all pay lip service to like DV is so bad, DV is so bad. And yet only Melanie Little of all the big true crime people had anything to say about this case. So I hope more people who are DV advocates, well, for not having it, obviously, that sounded weird, speak up. All right. So yeah, again, like, subscribe, do all the YouTubey stuff. I mean, I'm supposed to say that. Here's the other thing though. Have you guys, this is okay now, off topic. Do you know the Colleen Ballinger story? Is that her name? The one who did the Miranda Sings Swoop, who is a new creator that I really like. She does like documentaries on YouTube, but she really does. She reminds me of Stephanie Harlow and like Bailey Sarian, that type of Kendall Ray, like going in, especially deep dives, really well researched. I think she has a team, very well produced, and I think she has a background in production, like the opposite of me in every way. Love her. So her channel, is it called Swoop? She's really good. I like her so much. Anyways, she did this the Miranda Sings character story. And she had on her ex-husband who hasn't spoken, who just dropped today. And I hardly knew the case, but I had to watch it. This guy is so authentic. And one of the things he said, shout out to, I don't even know if Kate's still listening. And guess what? Nobody has to be listening because that's okay. Because I don't want to become YouTube famous. It sounds horrible. This Josh was talking about how, because he worked with his wife, Miranda Sings. And they were like boyfriend, girlfriend, working on YouTube for like 9 years, then got married. And then all this stuff happened. And he said, you start doing things for clicks. You start doing things for your followers, to get more followers. And he goes, it just becomes this vicious, horrible cycle. So again, yeah, like, subscribe. I don't know why you would share this. Maybe if somebody in your life loves true crime and wants to listen to somebody ramble about it, maybe so I can put them to sleep if they have insomnia. Keep you company on a walk. Whatever. Maybe you want to listen to crazy. Anyway, so I do have to say, like and subscribe. But if you don't want to, that's cool too. You know why I'm doing this? Because I am just like you. If you're watching this, because I love true crime. I want to hear just a little bit about what's been going on. I am not anything special. I just have enough time that I can watch it while I knit, craft, do things with my little crime kitties. The one who keeps stealing every pen, so I have a hard time keeping my little notes. But I'm here for you guys every night if you want to talk about it. I'm here every night anyways. So, anyways, all right. That's my little interlude. Drink up, Johnny. Nice 1980s Breakfast Club reference. If you know, you know. All right. So our 2 trials. Quickly. Oh, good. I'm only at 16 minutes, so not too long. The Kohlberger hearing. I'm not saying that I'm a genius, but just saying I called it. So what was the thing the judge was mad about? And you guys, I only know this because I'm a mom, not like Ruby Frankie. I'm a mom and I was a teacher for many years. And I can tell you, the most frustrating thing is when you see the future and you're like, okay, here's the rule. You can do this. I'm not great about letting you do it. Not sure I trust you, but I'm going to let you have some leeway. I'm going to give you the responsibility, but I want you to keep it within these parameters. And that's what happened with the media in this case. And Judge, first thing out of his mouth was, look, his exact words were that the media pushed the envelope. Stepped close to that line. He's not happy. So he heard from all sides, all parties. Well, not all parties, sorry. The media wanted to be considered a, oh, no, I'm going to say it wrong, not an interlocutor, like an interested party, but he did not give them that status, but he still let their lawyers speak. So, because once you give somebody the actual status of being a party to the lawsuit, even if it's a third party, then you have to like get sent certain things. It's a whole extra level of inclusion, and they're not included in all this stuff about the trial on every level. This is just this media focus. So he let them speak, and they said, one lawyer, and I believe it was for the media, I think his name might have been Lawson, he said exactly what I said. Look, we could have a compromise. Instead of a camera that can push in, or, side shots that could be zoomed in later by the consumer, some other media source and made memes of and all this other stuff they're worried about. How about we put a camera in the very back, C-SPAN style? And he made this funny joke, which is true. There's nothing exciting or salacious about C-SPAN. And it wouldn't be the best view for all of us, but it would be a view. And that's the point. And he didn't quite say specifically, but I wish somebody would have referenced, wow, somebody's playing the music really loud outside. I wish somebody would have referenced the Wagner case in the Pikesville massacre, because the really good thing about the Wagner case was people could choose witnesses, like in this case, the college students, the roommates, if they want to be filmed or not. And if they didn't, they just focused on a seal. And they could do that here very easily. So when the hearing began, I was watching it through with Peter Tragos's team on The Lawyer a great channel. Go follow it. He's actually pretty quick, pretty concise. I really like him. He's very even keeled. And, he was saying at first he thought the judge for sure was going to say no. And now after listening to the arguments and how the judge responded, he said, maybe there's a chance. So I'm still, I'm 60-40. I really do hope that Judge decides. So at the end, he didn't make a decision, but I hope he does decide to do the compromise, because that makes everybody a little angry, but also keeps some transparency. Because here's the thing. If like the DNA is bad or something else happened, and Kohlberger is found not guilty, people are going to be like, well, I don't understand. That's wrong. That's wrong. Because they didn't see the whole thing. And they're going to take an interpretation from the media, because the media is still allowed to sit in the court. That was one of the things the state said. We don't want it to be a dark court. We don't want it to go dark. There will be media in. And one of the, a really well-spoken woman who is aligned with the media, but she used to be at the journalists and maybe even worked for the state in some respect. She was saying how, here's the thing, if the media doesn't have a camera in there all the time, what they're going to do is wait for these people to come out and have a gaggle outside the court, and then they're all going to jump on them to ask them questions. And that's not great. That's kind of even worse. So they will get pictures of them because they'll be coming in and out, and then they'll be harassed almost. I mean, not harassed, but we've seen how people get asked questions when they really want to. So this compromise would be great of having a camera in the back or somewhere, you know what I mean? Like how they do when they tape shows. It could be even in the middle aisle, and people would have to just enter on the sides, something like that. And it doesn't move, and it can't focus on anybody's face. And when the witnesses come up, if they choose not to be, now they didn't talk about that, but I really think that if they use the same Ohio principles of, do they want to be on camera? No, then we'll just focus up here. The audio would still be. And I think what they're going to do is whatever they do, it'll be released the next day, like a delayed release. So hopefully we do get some visuals. I think it would be best. I hope Judge, he seems to be reasonable. He's just really leery. And again, you can't screw around. Don't pee on Judge's leg and try to make him think it's raining, because he ain't having it. All right, that was the Kohlberger case. We will find out the decision hopefully soon, and hopefully it goes for some television. Okay. The Murdaugh case. Alec was back in court for the financial crime stuff, and he was back in the same court, same county, same judge. Now, there's a little issue with the whole he wants a new murder trial thing, which is that the judge is now a witness to the claim of jury tampering because of what he wrote about Becky Hill. So he obviously was aware, which makes him a witness that they want to talk to. And if you're a witness, you can't be a judge. So can he fairly judge Alec in the financial crimes? I don't think Judge Newman likes Alec Murdaugh. I don't think he can be unbiased. I don't think anybody in that, I think that county, and that's kind of what Dick Harpootlian and Jim Griffin were making an argument, that is, how are we going to get it? How are we going to get another jury in this jurisdiction? And like I said before, I don't think Becky Hill was thinking of a book the whole time. I don't think she was thinking anything except for, oh my God, these people were killed. And she wanted to help the jury, and she wanted to help the judge, and the judge and she work together all the time, and he trusts her and she trusts him. All that familiarity in that small county, they need to get out of that venue for everybody's sake. Becky Hill couldn't have done what she did if she wasn't so familiar with the court and the judge. And like, if they would have taken that to Columbia and Judge Newman would have traveled that, I don't think the clerk of courts, I think, would have been the Columbia one. Maybe not. But she certainly wouldn't have known all the jurors enough that was like, oh, I was on Facebook page and I know all about what somebody, like, again, I don't think she necessarily was doing anything wrong. I just think, I mean, she didn't have to be. Maybe she was. But what I'm saying is, she didn't have to have an ill intent to tamper with the jury by just being overly familiar with them, going, oh, well, don't listen to, you know, you gotta, don't be handing him this because he just wants your sympathy, and like just giving to, that's that small town, overly familiar. Let me just tell you something about something that I want you to know. Okay. Okay. It's 24 minutes. I'm under half an hour. You guys have a great Thursday night. If you do happen to watch, you could like, I mean, if you want to subscribe, you could. You don't have to. But please have a good night. Please stay safe out there. Please teach your children to not be so angry, but don't do what Ruby did either. It's all about moderation, folks. Moderation is the key in everything. All right. Bye. See you tomorrow.